the host that you're talking to, all three of us used to have drug-related crimes before.
Everything also can fight in prison.
Really.
Morning you don't brush teeth. Hey, what is morning meal? Hey, go and brush teeth.
Hey, you so small, you sure cannot whack eh. Then they ask like, they damn scared for me. They'll say like, wow, I think if I were an inmate, I want to size you, I want to makan you eh.
Oh, I
like
see.
confirm bully you that kind of thing.
People always think that they go to prison, must be bad apples, things go wrong, just lock them up. Everybody that comes into our system needs to be given an avenue to make new choices in their life.
Master Check. Good morning, sir and ma'am. Rise and shine, brothers and sisters. Welcome. Okay, today we are going to share with you all the lesser known or talk about topics that are not commonly associated with the clean and safe image of Singapore.
Yes, sir.
Life in prison. Okay, we know that nobody wish to serve time in prison, but unfortunately we are humans and most of us, we make mistakes lah. Some are more serious than others in the eyes of the law. Okay, therefore we hope to shed some light on what goes behind the life of inmates and the duty and service rendered by prison officers to ensure inmates to be rehabilitated. Welcome, sir and ma'am.
Welcome.
Some speech
How is my English?
power, very
Go back,
good.
go improve.
Thank you.
Can
It's
come
what
out and do more speeches.
This is what happens when I'm rehabilitated.
Rehab.
Okay?
Yep.
Rehabilitated.
Very great English.
Okay, sir, ma'am, can you all introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Jufri from Cluster A. I'm a staff officer handling planning and organization. So this will be my 15th year in service. Yeah, quite a long time, but still enjoying it very much. Yep. So that's a little bit about me.
Hi everyone, I'm Yuan En. I'm a Senior Correctional Unit Officer at Institution A4, also known as the only women's prison in Singapore. So compared to Mr. Jufri here, I'm very new in service, only 1 year old.
Okay, so ma'am, you are my junior.
Yeah.
So I start serving at 2016.
That
2015.
That one's a different
But the
serve,
uniform different. The uniform
different
different.
serve,
The uniform color different.
Yeah, correct. No hair on.
Hey, but before this interview, you all know each other, or today first time meet, or?
We know each other and we
know
worked
each other.
together a couple of times before.
Welcome. Can you all share with us what does prison officers do exactly?
Basically, there's a lot of misconception, right? When we talk about prisons, most of the time, the general public will think, oh, prison officer very garang, just lock up the inmate, and hold the key. Actually, that's far from the truth. Prison officers, we wear many hats. We are handling the security of the prisons, the safety of the inmates, and like you mentioned earlier, rehabilitation. Large part of our role as a prison officers is actually to help the inmate make right decisions in the future, set them on the right path. So that's essentially what rehabilitation is about.
I think now the role of prison officers has changed. I think in the past, there's a lot of focus more on the operational side. But now prison officers, like for myself, right, when I went through training, we went through how to conduct certain programs. So all these rehabilitation programs, rather than having vendors come in to conduct it, we as officers, we are also trained to do so. So some of these programs include this one called Looking Forward, where we conduct like a circle, where maybe 10 to 15 inmates participate in it, and then officers will conduct and then try to guide inmates to share their experiences and to share what these inmates are looking forward to, so as to like motivate them.
I think it's good because you all help people to reintegrate back into society.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they don't feel so left alone when they come out.
I think prisons, to put it in simpler terms, right, it's a mirror of the society. What happens outside, it also goes on in prisons, but it's just a different system, right? People are faced with difficult choices, like what you mentioned earlier, right? It's very unfortunate. Sometimes we have to go into prisons.
Like due to family situation.
Yes, exactly.
I heard of some stories where some people, because they have too much problems outside, right? And they really got no money to survive. That's why prison is a way for them to like, okay, at least I go prison, I got food, I got shelter, I got,
Yes.
Basic human essentials to live lah. Yeah, and I'm sure you all heard cases like that before. So.
Yeah. So that is essentially what we do all the time. So when they come in, we try to identify all these issues that they are facing, right? Through like looking forward, even restorative practice circles, right? Yeah, we chit chat with them, identify what are the issues, and from there, then we can work together. Yeah, then that's when reintegration comes in.
So what we also try to do is to break the cycle. Many of our offenders are multi-timers, and when they as parents come into prison, they create like a gap for their children. So their children end up growing up in sort of a broken family or in an unhealthy environment. So we try to stop the cycle because we don't want these children to end up becoming like their parents. Because many of them grow up in generations of crime.
I think talking about like multiple offense, right? It's like repeated offense. Like I go through that, no, because back then I got no support system. When I want to make a change, I didn't know where to go and improve on my life. Like, you know, what courses that I can take, and I don't have any savings. But I didn't know that through government or through any organization like East Coast or whatever, you know, Yellow Ribbon, we can actually get help or assistance to go, and that's why I keep inside the cycle. No, then when relapsing is just so simple for me. That's why I keep on going back to the crime and things like that. But lucky I only served 3 times only. So.
Only
three.
Only
Sometimes
only.
3 times the correct,
Yeah,
third time's
yeah.
the jump.
Because I marry also
Hat-trick,
3 times. So yeah.
So everything also must do in 3.
Do in 3 lah.
So from your experience, what are the top 3 most common crimes that offenders are incarcerated for?
Okay, so for the male inmates, right, generally it will be drug offences or drug-related offences. Secondly would be crime against people, hurt crimes, grievous hurt and all that, and also property crimes, theft. Yeah.
Like break-in and all
Yeah,
that.
break-in and all that. But what we notice most of the time, there will always be relation to drugs for some reason.
And the funny thing is,
Yeah.
the host that
Yep.
you're talking to, all 3 of us used to have drug-related crimes before.
That's why we are successful.
No, we are changed
Yeah, we are
men.
changed.
We are changed
That's why
men.
we want to do all these interviews,
Yes.
and share more knowledge and
That's
light
right.
to you all to raise awareness. Don't fall for it. Okay.
Correct. Yes, sir. Back to you.
Yeah, it is also to help you understand the issues, right? Sometimes we always look at the drug as a problem, but actually there are more things around that forces the person towards the drug. There are a lot of push factors.
Yep.
So that's where it is very important to identify what are these areas. Like you mentioned earlier, I think, you go into a cycle and then you don't know where to go, you don't know where to get money, you don't know about employment. So in the prison system, that is what we do, right? In prisons, during your in-care phase, we help you to identify. Then we don't give you the solutions, we work with you to give you to identify the solutions. So I
understand.
think that is more important, so that when you go back to society, you are able to make the choice on your own, without us being around, without a lot of support.
I think that's the beauty of it, because like we see outside, all the movies we see, we thought, wow, this guy go prison, jialat already lah, he's gonna, inside there rabak already, come out sure rabak, that kind of thing. I think it happens to a lot of us when we don't know much about what's happening inside a prison,
Yeah.
So with all these, I feel that it's very good for all these inmates.
Other countries like people offend for drugs, right? They are usually they go through something called rehab.
Yes.
So Singapore also got this rehab system lah, but it's more prison style. So do you think like this difference, right? Is there a higher chance or lower chance of people re-offending because our system is not maybe like it's different from other countries they do
like a drug rehab.
they do rehab. It's really rehab one. It's not a prison. It's really like okay, there are classes there. There are steps for you to help to take to shut away these drugs. But Singapore is just straight away prison.
I believe it works, at least in my opinion, it works, right? Because for the society that we have right now, our generation are very exposed to a lot of things about drugs, like very glamorous now, right? So we need to be able to work with the resources that we have. Unlike the bigger countries, they have really a lot of resources. They can have a lot of treatment areas at different places, right? And people can voluntarily go into treatment if they want. But whereas for us, if we were to do that, the size of our country is so small, I just don't think that we can afford having people voluntarily going for drug treatments on their own. That's why I think it's more important that we mandate this, make it compulsory in that sense, mandatory, that you receive treatment. So we help you in a proactive way rather than a reactive way, whereas you decide on your own. So I come forth and although we classify it as an offense, but we give you a treatment that you must go through. So from there we see, what is it like for you? And like what I mentioned earlier, so we need to be able to identify what are the issues that you're facing. Because we leave it to chance, it's quite difficult, right? And sometimes we know that, like we mentioned, we watch in movies, this person can go into treatment for many times and may not see the success. Yeah, especially when it's voluntarily, because we don't know how they can drop out from the system. But in Singapore, it's, yes, no doubt, it's strict, but you complete and then we follow you through. Follow through, right? Yeah, see from there.
So I think, honestly, this question, I feel that because it's also depend on which phase are you in for your drug abuse, because there's also phase. Some people are going through a tough phase, like they want to quit already. Like they're going through the depression and things like that. They are not happy taking drugs, but some are still very enjoying. For these very enjoying people, they will not want to quit drugs. I think that is mandatory for them to be in like places like DRC to help them to quit drugs. But for me, because I personally went through that phase where I want to quit drugs, so I walked into a halfway house. Like also voluntary went in one. So I think that there are actually places like a drug rehab center, which is like halfway house. You know, if you talk about Sana, NEMS, and all these are actually people that really want to seek help, they can go there. So for DRC, I think no choice. When they catch you, then they have to let you go and serve this experience. How about you, ma'am? What for female side you think? Is it the same?
I'm very excited to hear about the female
Yeah,
side. What is the
we all
top
like
three?
really
Girl, girl, girl.
No, it's because I never get to. I don't really talk to a lot of girls.
Hey, your girlfriend is
Oh,
not
yeah, man.
You want to lie, not lie.
I don't.
The officers won't catch you one. You cheating, they cannot catch one.
Okay, wait. Relax first. Let me explain myself. But really, we don't really hear a lot about girls going to prison. I mean, there are, but not a lot that you hear of. You know, it's most of it is guys lah. So I want to know like really what's the top 3. So ma'am, if you don't mind sharing with us.
Honestly, it's very similar. The most common one we see are drug offenders also.
Okay.
Maybe not so much on hurt against person like serious crime, grievous crime, but we also see a lot of property crime. So these cases like criminal breach of trust, your shop theft, shoplifting, we do see these people come and go. But majority, I would say they are drug offenders.
So this drug really play a big part in Singapore, even though our country is so small. For overseas, you know, maybe they got medication, you know, but for Singapore, when people are going through withdrawal or, you know, it's long time addiction, so how can the prison system help with like inmates like this?
For SBS what we adopt is a true care approach. So for DRCs, right, when they first come into prison, we first focus on the in-care phase. So we understand that some of them might go through cold turkey, because really when they are caught by CMB, they are very high. They come into prison, suddenly there's no drugs, no nothing, it can be a very stark contrast. So let's say if they really go through certain symptoms, there are medical facilities, there are medical staff to assist them, and we can the medical staff can actually lodge them in our own medical center to undergo certain treatment that they require. And if it's really serious, our doctors will make the call to send them to a public hospital via A&E. So that's for in-care phase lah. Then as they progress, they will move into the aftercare phase. So in the aftercare phase, what will happen is that they'll be placed on community-based programs. They will undergo job programs, or they will go to halfway houses for them to be reintegrated into society. So that's where it's a more step-down approach lah. They won't say be locked up in a cell 24/7 only with 1 hour of out-of-cell activities, but they'll get to go out to spend time with their family, to go and work, spend time meaningfully, so that they can wean off the reliance on drugs.
You see, so there is like all these programs,
phases,
slowly phases to let you get back into the society. I think that's great. That's really awesome.
You know, last time when I was inside DRC, like first week, I remember everybody is like going through the withdrawal. I got one friend talking to the ventilator, on drugs, hallucination really.
I remember my first time, mine was not DRC, mine was DB. I was caught during the army, but when I went in, right, my first 3 days I slept a lot. Because finally, like, you know, I too shagged already from playing too much drugs back then. So when I finally, the 3 days after I sleep everything, then when I wake up, when the withdrawal hit in, I craving, for 2 months I cannot sleep properly.
So sir and ma'am, just to compare, okay, so yours like rehabilitate a lot of drug offences inmates, right? And comparing these two like drug offences one and drug consumption one and those normal crime inmate, you see any challenges helping these two different? Is there any differences or not comparing?
Not specific to like maybe drug offenders or DRCs, not specific to that, but rather like where they are at that point in time. So sometimes when they are incarcerated, they have a whole range of problems, but they may not be forthcoming to share with us. You know, they are facing certain issues. So at this point, that is where it is a challenge for us prison officers, because we need to engage them. We need to be able to identify what are the issues at hand. Then from there, then we will be able to, you know, help you out. Because if this doesn't, we don't address this early, what happens is sometimes it can fall back into some behavioral issues. Because at the end of the day, they're still staying with many people, right? In a cell, there are 4 people in a cell, then they go out for their yard. Sometimes living in a community setting in prisons may not be helpful for them at the onset when they're facing a lot of issues. The thing that we need to do.
They cannot integrate well
integrate.
with the cellmates, is it?
They are not ready because of the issues that they have, right? And then they go into prisons, and then the setting is new, especially for your first-time offenders. Even for the multi-timers, I think they face the same issues.
But most of them are not violent or they are not like rude or anything, right? It's just they just have a lot of maybe on their mind to settle.
Yeah. Most of them are not, but we must always be prepared for the worst case scenario.
Yeah, correct,
Sometimes it does happen. Beyond us talking, we also have psychologists coming in to help them, even if they have certain mental health issues that needs to be addressed. We do have our partners like Institute of Mental Health that comes on board to even help them with the treatments. Yeah, so we have quite a range of access to all these medical facilities within prisons also. Yeah, to help them to support the offenders.
So, sir and ma'am, what are the one most common problem that inmate comes to you personally to seek help?
I think this one might differ from
Yeah.
males and females. I think
Yeah,
gender-wise,
yeah.
you have your
Yeah.
partners, you will know lah. what kind your girlfriend will complain to you. So for females, one of the most common complaints is like, I cannot get along with my cellmate. So as officers, we always need to try to mediate lah. They have interperson conflict. And this is where we are trained in some form of restorative practice. We always try to de-escalate. We want to prevent them from turning into a quarrel or even worse, a fight.
So instead of mediating, do you all like just move people around or
How to move?
no move
hard,
I don't know,
we-
cell
we
to cell,
can
Too many
lah.
people to move already.
cell to cell or
We can, but my standard answer will always be, if I move you, then tomorrow someone else come to me the same problem, then I also need to move them. Then become every day I'm very busy how?
This one very familiar. This line, I think I got hear before inside prison.
Try to minimize
must find out whether must find out
and-
whether they themselves are the problem or the people inside is the problem.
And sometimes it doesn't solve the problem. They will still meet each other. So I myself sit them down.
No,
and
I got a very good suggestion. Just straight away release all of them.
This guy is- Then what if, okay, but if let's say you see these two inmates and they are like, they cannot get along already, and you know if
Yeah, once you leave, something
once
will
you leave,
happen.
you know that
Something might
there
happen.
might be a fight going on. You know that they cannot accept each other. Then what is the next steps?
So it's really up to our assessment lah. If we really but what we need to do is we need to sit them down and try to identify the root cause of the issue. If at the end of it they can shake hand and say, okay, ma'am, we settled already, we can stay together. That's the best solution. But if at the end of it they're still like, okay, I can't see eye to eye this person, but I promise I'm not gonna whack the other person. Then okay, I consider it as a halfway win lah. But I will say, okay, for the fairness of everyone, I will split the cell.
You got meet anyone like okay, they say they bang so.
Yeah.
Definitely won't lah. They also need to preserve their own face one.
I mean, also because you're already in prison and then you do not want to do anything stupid to like tambah your sentence. Like you
But
add on.
inside very hard one.
Yeah,
I personally
I agree.
went through this problem. No, my last sentence, I think last 2 months really, I was at MI. Then I got this tension inside my room already. Then I seek my officer.
You and someone else.
Yeah. Then
Like sexual tension.
I seek this help from my officer. I say, sir, you need to change my room. Then he asked me, I just share. I say, I want to be good. I want to avoid problem. I know myself, so you need to change. Then he say, okay, you try another 1-2 days. I say, okay, if really cannot, you must change me. So I give and take lah, Then 2 days later, I really find him again. I say, sir, you must change already. If not, I confirm something happen already.
No, but I want to ask what the guy do.
Not much. Sometimes you stay in a
So
room,
is you
right?
lah.
There's tension one, so you can
because
feel that
you must,
vibe.
you must understand when you stay with someone, it happened to me also.
So
when
you
I
just
was
don't like the
incarcerated.
person?
No,
I don't want to
stay for
injure
long
people,
already.
you understand or?
No, so as in it's just the things that you
Yeah,
do just
correct.
piss you off.
Yeah. Everything is like sometimes you see of this girlfriend already, then everything she do is very
Okay,
annoying.
wait, what?
So you consider him a girlfriend?
No, okay. No. For me, when I'm inside, it's like, for me, I eat loudly.
That's your problem. Yeah.
Yeah, this is me, I eat like a little bit sound. But my cellmate, boleh tahan. Then he will say, then I say, hello, we are staying together here. This is not your house and this is not my house. So I eat how I want as long as we be rich. So you know this type of thing
The
will
funny
happen.
thing is,
small
the
thing
funny
one.
thing is, I had to mediate two people like that when
you were incarcerated.
Yeah, because of this this chewing loudly thing. This guy don't like this guy chew loudly, and they end up they want to fight. Then I will have to stop them from fighting because of this chewing loudly thing.
Everything also can fight in
Yeah,
prison.
really.
Morning you don't brush teeth. Hey, what is morning meal? Hey,
Hey,
go and brush teeth. Hey, eat your breakfast.
I got one
Also
cellmate.
kena beat one, bro.
I got one cellmate exercise, then he damn smelly. I was so angry. Yeah, it's like that. Because stay inside too long, everybody don't want to be inside. You know what I mean? We really did our wrong. Then we are inside here. Really big take. Then sometimes it's the small things. We are not perfect.
Yeah, but immediately
you
you
know?
whack them already, your sentence tambah lah.
Yeah,
Mine.
so that's why. Yeah, lah.
Because the officer don't change for me. I show you. Camera here, I show you. Don't change, I will
If-
prove
Sir,
to you.
you just put him
Sir, what will you
on hard
Special
watch.
watch. Yeah,
Inside
sir,
solitary.
how about you, sir?
The common question, when is my visit? Why my family never come visit me? Why you never screen my letter?
Check visit, correct?
Check visit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
check visit.
Oh,
You all got meet any of the people you see outside before? No?
Yeah.
Once after they release or what?
Yep. Met a couple of them upon release, doing well. What I will always say when they are doing well is when they are married, they got kids. I think that is the most important. I always tell them that if you have a job, I say, okay, success rate there already, 75%. But you got married, you have a kid, I think you're there already because you have responsibility already. Yes. Right?
coming soon,
Yeah.
then earning a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Ladies,
You see?
DM me in IG, Simonboy.
You got
Okay. What is the expected salary for those new bird?
New bird, okay. So for sergeants, right, with diploma holders, if you join us, the starting pay is from 2,800 onwards.
Plus.
Okay, what?
plus.
Okay,
That's
a
not
plus.
bad.
Yep.
How many plus do you want to plus?
Two, usually.
This one very hard to
Oh,
answer.
eight plus.
Yeah, plus 4K plus 1 month.
This one must come here and do a few more
It's like
podcasts.
Along calculation. So how about diploma? That one is for
Yeah.
diploma. Then
Degree.
after that,
Degree, right?
For
Oh,
degree,
must minimum have diploma lah.
ITE grads also can join.
Oh,
Correct, yeah.
But you cannot be an ex-offender. Must be clean your
I
record.
think so lah. IT kick out 2 times, how?
I was a poly dropout. So
IT
same.
Kick out 2 times.
Kick out,
Kick
can
out
lah.
two times.
As long as you make the decision to come back in. Study.
Okay, how about degree?
Degree is from
4.8 or
4.8.
5, somewhere there.
plus 7,000
plus,
plus.
One plus, only one plus.
One plus,
One plus,
yeah.
cannot plus plus.
And if you have previous work experience in
Yeah.
relevant fields, then you plus.
Yeah, that's the plus.
Then maybe 1 plus until how much already?
No plus. Scratch grad. Scratch grad.
Yep.
Okay. So we go back to the topic, right? I mean
Yeah.
that in prison there are definitely different people with different types of crimes that they commit, right? So like what other type of programs do you all have to rehab, those other type of crimes?
Any special
Yeah,
ones?
any special, programs?
Okay, so generally, regardless if you're a drug offender or any other penal law kind of offences, right, you still go through what we call also work programs, whereby you pick up skills. So there are quite a number of workshops, we call them workshops, bakery workshops or even the laundry workshop. You pick up certain skills where you can actually use these skills upon your release. And if you do well or you pick up certain education certification along the way, right? You can go to prison schools. And then you can also be matched with certain jobs through Yellow Ribbon Singapore. Yeah, so there's a job matching phase as well. So these are broadly some of the programs that we have on top of the psychology correctional programs.
Okay.
PCPs, very long. Yeah. So this is the base one. So when you come in, once we engage you, so you go through PCPs, right? Then from there, we address certain needs, risk, needs, and responsivity. And then you go through like work programs, and then we've also set you on your community-based programs as well. So it's by phases.
And another way, we actually don't necessarily go by category of your offense lah. Generally, we go by the risk level. So let's say you're a first timer, you'll be grouped together with similar category inmates to go for these classes. But let's say you're assessed to be of higher risk, then you need a bit more in-depth interventions. Then you have access to like one-on-one counselling programs with our correctional rehabilitation specialists.
Higher risk of like reoffending or
high risk of
reoffending.
Yeah, last time I always want to have all these one-to-one counselling on it. Because DRC got the counsellor very pretty one. Then they always never call me. Because I'm not risky enough. I should make myself more dangerous next
So
time.
you go a few more times lah.
It's good.
You keep thinking about how
coming,
you
you talking about you want to go back in. I slap you.
I want to have a personal counsellor, okay?
So, ma'am, have you all met any inmates that you are like you all have these rehab things, right, that you all can help, but you all have met any inmates like they refuse, they die, I also don't want to go to this rehab.
Like class 1
Yeah,
counselling one.
All also don't want, very like thing one.
Have.
So how do you all normally deal with this?
It takes a bit of time lah. So some of these we have. So for my side lah, I have some longer sentence inmate, and really they are like, I just don't want. I rather sit in my cell, do nothing than to go out because of a lot of like reasons lah. They say like maybe I'm not ready, I don't want to mingle with the rest, I'm stressed, I scared I make any offences, make any mistakes again. So what the officers we try to do is we won't every day go and tell you, knock your door, hey, when you want to come out work, hey, when you want to go for your program. I mean, they also get frustrated with us. We try to give them space, we give them like a timeline. So we say, okay, I will check in with you in another 2 months. You talk to your family a bit more lah, or you think about it, you just take the time to think, I come back to you in 2 months, that kind. And then if after 2 months they still say no, we have to respect their decisions. But I think a long time when you have the opportunity to build the trust with the inmate, then you can find the chance to really sit down and talk to them and understand like what's the root cause of this lah. Because really it's not say very healthy for them to be locked up throughout the entire sentence, especially if their sentence is a long one.
Sometimes they are just not ready at that point. So when I first joined service, I was in a maximum security prison. So they serve very long sentences, right? So when we talk about programs, then they would like, sir, I don't know when I'm going out. So you tell me now. So we really have to go in phases with them. Like what Ma'am mentioned, right? We engage them, talk to them, then come back when they are more ready. But we also have to open up our eyes and ears, also listen to them a little bit more. Actually, they are not ready because of what are the reasons? Yeah. So there are other things that they are more occupied with. But if you get them at the right time, and also when they are really ready for it, they can be very successful. Seen inmates who become like ICs, they can train other inmates, they can pass certain skills over time. But it's a period. Yeah. So they need to be given a chance. And when they are ready. Yeah.
I think relationship very important. Even like between officer and inmate, you need to create a officer and inmate relationship so that when they have issue, they will share with you and things like that.
I think it's true because you also shared about your story when you were incarcerated. Then you had this very nice officer who
Tuan Faizal.
Who show you like his support, and I feel it's very important if an officer make good connection with the inmates and then show that care and concern, right? I think it can really help out the inmate a lot, right? I mean,
when you got problem, you will find him. Then whatever you don't want to share, you only share to him. All these things.
So talking about inside prison, I also know that there are also offences committed inside there. So
Bicara.
Bicara
is like the court inside prison.
Okay.
The what?
Bicara.
Court inside prison. Outside got court, right? Like the court. Like judge. Inside prison itself also got another court.
Also got judge one.
Is it? Okay.
Adjudication.
Okay. So have you ever heard like those drop the soap things? Right? Like the prison drop the soap. Then
ma'am is very innocent. Can you
like molestation inside the cell. Have this type of thing happened?
Not particularly like this lah, but offences are quite common, but not to this extent. They what's the term that you always use? Cap merah. Cap merah, you know. Smuggle things. Yeah, smuggle things for
like
friends. And then fights are also something that can
Common,
happen.
very common.
Arguments like what you mentioned. Cannot stay with this guy. Cannot stay with that guy. Shout at each other. So these are the common offences that happen. And like what Simon mentioned, the bicara process or adjudication. Prisons, we need to uphold certain level of discipline. So rehabilitation can only work if discipline is there, right?
Understand?
Yeah. So that's when if they commit a certain offence, they go through this bicara process, adjudication, and then go to court lah. Go to court.
The bicara really like court. I go, I see. I quite amazed.
You can go. You
go before.
Fight inside. Yeah.
Fight.
But if argument will kena anything or not?
It depends.
How
It depends
jialat.
on how jialat. Yeah, you're right. It depends on how jialat they.
In general, prisons in Singapore quite safe, right?
Yes, it is
Compared
quite
to
safe.
like, I don't know, like America.
Of course lah. Ma'am, I want to ask you this question. You know, in female prisons, right? Okay, what if right? Just nice, this inmate is a pregnant lady. She's pregnant.
Yeah, okay.
And just nice, she's being served in this sentence. Does it mean that maybe she can give birth first, then serve a sentence, or does she still have to serve a sentence while being pregnant? And if so, what are the things that y'all would do to help this inmate? When she's pregnant or what?
This question very exciting because
Yeah.
I am in charge of the pregnant inmates.
Ask the right person.
And I've never been pregnant before. Okay, so for our pregnant inmates, we work very closely with a lot of partners in the community. So one would be the Fei Yue Family Resource Center. They will help to contact their caregivers. We also work very closely with MSF, and we also work closely with public hospitals to make sure that in the event our inmate has any medical emergencies, they will be able to assist them lah. So all these processes are in place to ensure that at the end of the day, right, let's say the inmate does give birth to a baby, the baby does not have to come back to prison to stay with the mother, because ultimately prisons is a place for inmates to serve their sentence. It's not for a baby to grow up. It's really not a suitable place.
They'll be giving birth in the prison or in the hospital?
So for our pregnant inmates, when they reach nearing the full-term pregnancy at the 36-week mark, they will be admitted to our medical center. So let's say at any point they raise to the medical staff that they're experiencing some form of pain, immediately we'll send them out to A&E.
Oh, okay. Then because I know that women when they gave birth, right, then they would prefer to have their baby by their side. So at the point when they give birth, would they be able to be in touch with their baby for a while?
Like how long then?
Then will you all, put the baby away from
And I also
them?
feel it's maybe quite sad for them also, right?
Yeah, I think it's a very sad
Once the
process.
baby is taken away.
Yeah.
after a
I mean,
certain
we
time.
understand that like as mothers, that they will definitely want to hold their baby and spend some time with the baby. So they can, not just at the hospital itself, or once they come back, right, they can actually put out requests for open visits. So this is where their family members or the approved caregiver of this baby can bring the baby in to spend some time with the mother. Yeah.
Oh, then pregnancy sometimes got craving. Do you all give them like chocolate or what?
Any extra?
Yeah, extra like
snacks.
So all this is up to the doctor's prescription. If they feel like the
like milk.
inmate needs a bit more nutrition or what, then they might prescribe them with milk.
Then how about those inmates that they just come in this month then realize that I'm 2 months pregnant. Ma'am, I don't want the baby. I want to abort.
So for abortion cases, this has actually happened where the inmate has to make the decision in prison itself because they just found out. And these are some difficult conversations that I've also had to sit down with the inmate and talk to them about it lah. But at the end of the day, we are really not the people to make the decision for them.
Understand.
They have to make it. So usually what I will do is that I'll encourage them to get in touch with their family. If really need be, we'll put out a phone call request for them to speak to their family, their loved ones, get like a sensing of whether they want to keep the baby or not. And at the end of the day, if they still decide that abortion is the best choice, right, it will be facilitated. They will go to the hospital, undergo the procedure, and then we will arrange for counselling support. So all these are in place to make sure that they are not alone. Because pregnancy is a difficult journey lah.
Because overseas you got like conjugal visit
The Conjuring.
Bomo, yeah.
No, what's the English
Don't
word?
make fun of you. We say
Why they hire a wizard to come and
No, the conju what?
conjunctivitis?
The
conjunction. At the conjunction, Turn left
Hey,
or right.
I will report police on you all.
Conjugal is what? Conjugal?
Become conman.
No, guys, I really want to know what is
Conjugal
it.
Conjugal.
This
What
guy.
conjugal?
Conjugal
Conjugal. Conjugal is wizard Harry Potter, bro.
Wizard is wizard what?
Wizard is conjurer.
Conjugal.
Conjugal is what?
Yeah, what is conjugal?
No, maybe that's why Singapore don't have, because we don't know what.
No, why? Like we all
Okay,
consider
what's that?
so-
What's that?
like
Please
the
explain.
Bro, he don't even know.
okay, like example,
He don't even know. He want to ask.
the inmate like I'm an inmate, then my wife like once a month can come inside prison. Piak lah, piak.
Oh, it's called conjugal.
Hello, you think this one what? Vacation ah?
No, because
here
officers
to
here
serve your crime.
officers here I need to use like proper English, so I say conjugal.
Okay, no, but I have heard of stories like that in prisons because in some countries, right?
They allow that?
No, they see sex as a need, not a want. So it is part of human basic survival. We got food, we got water, we got sex.
I agree.
So they actually allow, it's either the wife or they actually hire escorts for the prisoners to
What?
release.
Yeah.
Then after that,
That
they
is-
can chow.
I think that's a good
what I heard.
idea.
Not in Singapore.
Okay, so we always talk about prison breaks in movies and in TV shows. Okay, so I just want to ask, because we rarely hear about Singapore having this kind of prison break.
Yeah.
So is it true that Singapore prison is really impossible to break out of?
To begin with, nothing is really impossible. But fortunately for us, we have never had a prison break.
Okay, have anybody attempted?
Yeah.
No.
Like you know, you see those movie.
It's too hard lah, I
You know, you
feel.
see those movie
Yeah.
like the sink is missing, then behind the sink got a hole. Then they go into the sewer.
Then they draw the,
Bro, you-
the
Yeah,
diagram
so
on the
they-
hand and all that.
Yeah,
then use
yeah,
the
yeah,
spoon.
yeah, correct.
Bro, you need to come back to reality,
Yeah.
bro.
Okay.
This
I
one.
was asking, maybe you all see before. Or what, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I mentioned, fortunately, no, we never had one, no attempts as well. We have what we call the layers of security, 5 layers of security. So that makes it like what you mentioned, like
Impossible.
it's impossible.
Yeah, impossible to break out.
Yeah. But with
5
technology and even if with all the things that we have done, like I mentioned, nothing will be truly impossible. Someday, somehow, someone will may be smart enough to do it. So that's why it's also important for prisons, Singapore prisons especially, to continuously upgrade.
Adapt.
Yeah, to adapt. So the technology is changing. We put in new technology to to identify certain threats as well. So the environment is changing.
I think cannot break out. Singapore got money.
No, that's why we got the
Singapore got
master
money
check.
upgrade.
The what?
Yes, master
check.
check. So the moment the master
Other
check, I
country
cannot
also
find
got
you.
check.
Something.
Roll call,
Yeah.
You don't call, then they put the make the sack out
door,
of the
the
potato, then become the person head, lie on the bed. Like,
We watch too much America
yeah,
show
you
already.
watch too
bro.
much already.
Hey, we in
Come back to Singapore.
Yeah, Understand or not, bro?
Okay, so about prison school. Okay, we heard a lot about prison school programs. So can I ask what are they like, and how do they help the inmates to reintegrate back into society?
Wait, I want to ask, what is the how long is the sentence then qualified to go for a prison school? Because I know if let's say maybe if short-term prison sentence, they are, I mean there isn't a need to lah, right?
That one called tuition, that one not prison school. Remedial.
Prison tuition. Yeah. Is there like a maybe like amount of how many years they must be inside prison, then they are able to go for a prison sentence?
I know a lot of people, they get their A level or O level, or some of them get, I think recently got this case, this guy got their masters or something, right?
Degree,
Yeah.
yeah.
Degree.
Yeah, so it actually not depends on the length, maybe partly depends on the length of the sentence. But more importantly is whether they have enough runway to complete the course or not. So basically we don't just give them the certification, not like, okay, take O-level test and I finish. So actually there are lessons for them to go through. So they go through an actual curriculum, just like your schools. Yeah,
Right.
so they must have enough length of sentence to do this. Yeah.
How long would it take, let's say, for O level? Like, how long would it normally take? Like, how many times do they go to class a week?
About a year? About
whole
a year.
year,
About
yeah.
About a year.
Same as
It's
one
about
side
a
lah.
full year.
Once a week, is it?
They have lessons every day. So in the prison schools, they have lessons like a normal curriculum
So,
every day.
so as an inmate, they can just like suka say, oh, I want to take O level.
Not suka-suka lah.
There's
They
an
must-
application
yeah.
process also.
Correct. There's an application process. Yeah.
And it's all paid for by the prison.
Anything also can, like O level, A level. a diploma degree.
They
or
can
also
choose based on what's their highest qualification.
So once they apply, they also go through an assessment process. So then to see whether that you really can take that O levels or you really take something else.
But I personally have a lot of friends that like really repeated offenders, serving long term, even people that are serving 5-5. They get very good grades for A level. And that's when they realize that,
actually they can
They have
study.
this
I'm
potential.
good for something. Then they come out, they are more motivated to make a change in life. Then they go and find office job, find those. So back then I really like, I very admire them, right? Because I really don't know how to study. Then I think, wow, if I can be like them, you know, that's what I desire lah.
But you got study.
No mind lah, bro. You now make enough money already. No need to.
So that's why I don't get it when some people say, wow, shit lah, I go prison 1 year, die already, my life is ruined. No you got so many things that you can do inside actually that help you come back out as a better person.
Okay, sir and ma'am, so what do you think are the biggest misconceptions that people have about the prison system?
I mean, for me, right, when I was still in school, and then my friends asked me, hey, next time what you want to work as? Because my friends are all from the media industry. Then I'm like, actually, I'm gonna join Singapore prison. Then they're like, huh? Hey, you so small, you sure cannot work eh? Then they ask like, they damn scared for me. They'll say like, wow, I think if I were an inmate, I want to size you, I want to makan you eh.
Like
confirm bully you that kind of thing. So I was a bit scared lah. And then I also had friends who were interested in joining. Then their parents didn't allow them to join. Because their parents were like, very dangerous. But actually, after I joined, I realized it's quite a secure environment. In a sense, like there's a very basic form of respect between inmates and officers. Because end of the day, inmates are also humans. I think officers, we are not going to mistreat them. You're already serving your sentence. I'm not going to do anything more to punish you and make your life difficult. So there's this, there's this mutual understanding and mutual sense of respect. So I don't really personally. And I can also say for my colleagues, we don't really face that kind of challenges in terms of inmates trying to size us up, or even day to day, we're gonna fear that someone's gonna whack us from the back. So that's quite a common misconception that Singapore prison is very unsafe, because even for someone like me, I'm not even 1.6 meter tall, it's perfectly fine for me to be working
Yeah, with
there.
the boots you are with the boots.
Lucky lah.
Then when you join, did you learn some fighting? Like
So we undergo.
I think you have to go combat class or something, right?
is it?
go through technical training. So Mr. Jufri here is a trainer.
Sorry, we
say
offend you.
say want to fight, fight there.
Basically, she's trying to say that I'm old already because she 1 year in service.
It's
and-
a trainer.
But you can punch people.
No, cannot punch people.
I mean, in self-defense, you are able to.
We try. We
Try not to.
Yeah.
But if
no, we
let's
don't
say-
try. We must be professional about it because there's actually no reason for us to do it.
Understand, but if there's a guy charging to you right now, you have to defend, right?
Then you have to defend.
Okay, understand.
Man, just now you say all your friends they want to like do like normal job, right? So why of all jobs you come and you have the thinking to come and say I want to work for prison?
So for me, from a very young age, right, I was very intrigued by uniform services. Cause I watched too much CLIF, the MediaCorp drama. So I wanted to be a police officer. So after JC, I went to sign up for all the different uniform roles, and I was very lucky that was awarded a scholarship by the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Wow.
So what motivates me to join this role is really that this kind of job, you cannot experience it elsewhere. What kind of job allows you to interact with humans on a day-to-day basis and to listen to the stories of people and also have a bit of impact in their lives. I think it's a very, very meaningful job, and it really exposes you to all the different sides of humanity.
Yeah, how about you, Sir Jufri? We would like to know.
My story very long time ago, 15 years ago. Basically, during national service, what I discovered was I think I would enjoy working in a very structured organization. Didn't really look into a uniform job, but then, as time goes by, then I look into it, and I like Yen, I also apply a few jobs lah. And I got a few offers, and I looked at prisons, and I had a chat with my father. I said, hey, now I got this offer from Singapore prisons. I don't know whether is this the right one for me. He said, you like structure, right? You like a very controlled environment, right? Why don't you give this a try? And then I did a research a little bit. So back then, the tagline was Rehab, Renew, Restart. Like everybody else, all the other uniform group got very garang tagline. So I said, Rehab, Renew, Restart. Wow, this one like interesting. Something that is different from the rest.
Yeah.
And true enough, when I did, sign up and comparing the different uniform jobs that we have, right? Singapore prisons is entirely different from everything else. Yeah, so that was how I got started. Like, it was a bit of a chance. Yeah, maybe give me a second chance to make a career choice.
You can buy
So it's a
my
chance.
t-shirt, yeah.
Okay, so if there's one thing that you wish more people understood about your role or the prison environment, what is it?
It's not like what you observe on Netflix.
Yeah, so I think I watch too much Netflix.
Yeah. So Singapore prison is very different from what we see. A lot of common misconception because we wear the uniform, we are very garang. We, people think that inside everybody very rigid. It's not the case.
Okay.
It is just like society at large outside. Everybody that comes into our system needs to be given an avenue to make new choices in their life. I think that is something that people don't really understand. People always think that they go to prisons, must be bad apples, things go wrong, just lock them up. It's not always the case. It's about finding an opportunity for them. And that's where I think the prison environment is most important for our offenders at the start of their journey. So then, as they move on, they can make better choices in life. Hopefully, get married, have kids, open a new restaurant. Be more successful in life, right? So it's about having that second chance, or third chance, or even we never know.
Okay, sir, can you send me the link?
Link, yes.
To sign up to be a prison officer.
You cannot.
Diploma 2.8 plus. Degree 4.
For what?
4.8
4.8.
plus.
4.9.
4.9
with a
plus. Still got bonus,
Yeah, there's bonus
Man,
now.
the bonus how much? Now
Bonus.
you sign, you got bonus.
Oh, sign in bonus.
The first plus.
First digit 3.
3,000
Diploma only 3,000.
Diploma holder. No.
3 is
Add one more zero.
30,000
Why never study? Wow,
Hey, you only sell drug already. Go and be.
Yeah, hey, sell drug not worth. Sell drug not worth. Go and be prison officer.
Okay, so once again, we would like to thank Sir Jufri and Ma'am Yuan En
Thank
for
you so
coming
much.
down today and telling us more about what they do and of course the Singapore prison system. So thank you guys so much for coming once again. Don't forget to like,
for having us.
share and subscribe down below and comment who you want us to interview next.
Sign
as
up
well.
to be a prison officer
Yes.
today.
Yes, remember to share to your mother, grandmother, grandfather. Or you go and share. Understand? No, they come and cuff you.
Okay, thank you, man. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.